Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Pieces of Pat Paints. I'm Pat. I am here painting pieces. That's what I do. We hang out. Oh, that cardboard's blocking that plant. That's not good for the plant. It likes the light, because plants like light. So, and they don't really want things laying on top of them. I need to water that guy. He needs some water. Anyway, I hope you guys are having a great day. I'm having a great day. It's pretty good. Pretty interesting. Hanging out. Painting things. Well, gonna be painting things after we do some work. So my printer's acting a little crazy. First one side didn't want to print. Now the other side didn't want to print. So I don't know. Maybe it's supports. Maybe it's something else. I gotta mess with the next thing. It's also the temperature's been really fluctuating. It's been pretty cold. You gotta keep your resin at like a certain temperature, and you don't want it to. It gets complicated. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. So we did get some pieces, which is great, out of the print. So let's go ahead and take a look at all that. I don't have any crazy stories to tell today, so we can just go ahead and just drop up there. We're gonna turn this on so we can kind of chit-chat about what we're doing. So we got this part done yesterday, and then last night I was able to print. Looks like her right leg. And we got her head done, which we're missing some parts to be able to put the head. And we got this hand. Got a hand, so we'll be able to put her hand on there maybe later. Probably it's pretty tight in there. Probably put that in pretty soon. Not that we have to worry about it at this point, but alright, that leg's gonna go in there. So we got a little bit of cleaning up to do, and not a lot though. A pretty good job on this one. That seam on the boot's supposed to be there, so it looks like all the contacts were pretty much on the foot, or on the bottom of the foot, the sole. Okay. Good morning, McBeardsly. How are you today, sir? So we got the right side taken care of. For some reason, all the left sides it keeps not wanting to work now. So we'll have to come back. We're gonna have to do some more printing overnight, at least in between shows. Yeah. It's definitely a week after Thanksgiving is always kind of rough. Hey, odd time he's here. Hello, sir. That right there is like a little bubble. So when I ran it through the wash, there was stuff probably leaking out of here, and it didn't get all of the actual resin out. So that when it went to cure in the UV machine, it set that resin. And you can see also it's kind of shiny here. If I move around in the light, you can see it's shiny versus right here where the shine is different. This has got like a sheen, but it doesn't look like wet. You can see around the hole on the foot. And this here, you can see where it's wet, where it's been coming out of these pinholes, because it's hollow on the inside. For anybody following along home. I just want to make sure it's going to meet up well with our part here, which looks like it's going to be just fine. Which is good. Yeah, you made it on time. Look at that. Pretty much on time. That's pretty awesome. So yeah, my printer wouldn't print her. I need this arm still. I need her left leg, and then next I'll print off the cloak. But we want to get all of this done before we worry about the cloak. Okay, that piece is prep. That piece is prep. Yeah, only a couple minutes in. Oh. And the face looks pretty nice. It's got some pretty good details. I don't see any major blemishes. Maybe just a little something in that nostril. We're gonna need. I need a needle. A little bit of debris right here. That's definitely not her nose. Anything else? It's just something that the resin cured wrong or something. Could have been just a fleck that was in the tank from when I cleaned it and I didn't see it, or there's no telling. There we go. Because the other nostril looks great. This nostril had something in it. And I don't really want to like paint a booger on her. That seems weird. Some bits on the back. A few spots in her hair here. Be real careful. Maybe they'll just pop off loose. There's one. don't think a show goes by where some scam call doesn't call my cell phone while I'm on the live stream. They've been relentless this year. Anybody else been getting like a gang of spam calls this year? Or just me? Man, even with it, they still be hitting us up. Is printed resin like that easy to file cleanup or require extra care? It's about the same. It's about the same as like your regular plastic models. I will say that like it's more brittle. So like you with say like Games Workshop or Tiama or Revell or any of those kind of kits. Their plastic it's pretty easy to work with, because the kind of plastic it is, and it's got some give. Like you're not gonna break it immediately. It's not gonna. But with 3D printed stuff, it can be really brittle. So like you can accidentally like knock off like part of the piece without even knowing that you did it sometimes if you're not super careful. That's a great question. So because there is a learning curve. File, I mean, like the actual how well it comes off, how easy it comes off is equivalent to that of a plastic model kit, but that brittleness is just, like I said, that's where you really gotta pay attention. There's also like with 3D printing, there's some errors that you can have happen. And so like there's a little bit of troubleshooting involved and things like that. Which there's communities and all sorts of places that you can go to get the information that you need to figure out what to do next. So that's always cool. And there's so many files so many companies you can buy files from, free files. There's all sorts of stuff. 3D printing is really neat. It'll definitely be the wave of the future. I'll tell you what, I have a filter and everything for mine, but I still like to open up the windows and stuff. When they get to where it can be made out of something a little less toxic, then we'll be hitting like the golden age of 3D printing. Because you want to put it like this. We put this all the way back in the house. This is the back part of the house, and like there's a window right there on that side of me, and I have a lot of plants back here. You guys don't see it all over here by the window. There's tons of plants. And so like we'll open up the windows and turn on the fans and like shut the door in here and like do the printing, and then we'll air the room out and shut it all back down. Just to try and like minimize the amount of time where I'm messing around with that, especially because I already got bad lungs. So like adding on to it just seems like a bad idea. So I try to keep it as like contained as possible now. All right, head's done, leg is done. funky texture on there. Yeah, you just got to be careful. Because, like I say, the reason that they tell you not to put too much abrasive stuff on it is because of that brittleness. But no, I file down. I file all my stuff down. I take off the nubs. Sometimes they don't fit right, so you gotta. And like right here, I don't think you can even really see this, but there's some striation to the layers, and I don't think that her hand is supposed to be doing that. I don't think that that's on purpose, because it looks like a printer error. Although I don't know anything about the game, so I don't know if her hand is supposed to be disfigured slightly or not. I should probably wait on Sir McBeardsly. Is she supposed to have something on her hand, Sean? And that's the one that plugs into her this in. See, like this little tiny piece is probably far too brittle. Okay, thank you, sir. Appreciate you chiming in. It's like this part is far too brittle to be messing with, so I can't really do much here. Which luckily it came off of its supports just fine. It does feel like maybe there's a cat hair attached to it. There was. Cats. So like that piece is way too brittle to be doing any kind of work on. So you just gotta hope that it's good. It looks fine. It's interesting. I mean, I guess I get why they did that, but a 3D printer can actually make that crevice. I guess it's so you can paint her head better. Okay, let's see if I can get these little bits over here. Now, the filament printers, trying to file those things, I don't know anything about that. I have some filament printed stuff, and it seems to me like the layers would like start to separate. But then again, the stuff I have is kind of like old generation filament. I don't have any of the more modern stuff. You can kind of see now where the bits of it is coming off there, because it was something either it started separating in the tank, which, you know, with it being as cold as it was last night, that might be it. I should try to get it set to run during the day today. Oh, it's a little warmer. These are the kind of the boring stages of all this, where you're getting all the prep on it done. But I'll tell you what, what makes most of my pieces end up looking so good, in my opinion, is because I did all this work ahead of time. There we go. That's a whole lot smoother. It feels more like a young lady's hand. They were doing my girl dirty. She had some old wrinkly ass hands like mine. Man, come on. Old wrinkly ass hands. Oh my gosh, I was watching this girl. I'm fascinated with watching real life court. I don't want to I don't want to watch people's court. I like watching like real life court stuff. And this lady who was an attorney and not a very good one was trying to represent herself in her own divorce case. Holy moly, it was hilarious. Homegirl was mad about it. It's just like, and the dude was like, "Yeah, no, I'm tired of your crap. No, I said that. Yeah, no, I'll read it again. You want me to say it? You want me to add to it? I'll say whatever. I don't care. I've had enough of you." And she just could not understand why he wouldn't do what she wanted him to do and participate in her little trial that she was having. And the judge and the lawyer for the guy were so dumbfounded by the whole situation. They just kept watching the back and forth because it was all over Zoom. And they just kept looking back and forth on their screens and watching these two talk at each other. You're like, holy moly. She was mad about it, man. I don't know, I like watching people when they get seriously mad. Especially when people get mad at other people not doing what they wanted them to do. Somehow people can control other people. Because that ain't real. At all. Now we're pulling out our giant raw umber again. I'm so happy with this tube of paint. It's so fun. I bought it on sale when it was I got this whole tube of paint for $28 or something like that. This thing is massive. Look at this. This is like a $7 pot of paint from that. Come on now. Come on now. It's just huge. It's so good. And it's good paint company. Probably not for everybody though, if I'm honest. It gets a little harder to control these thicker paints if you don't know how to thin them down, or if you don't like thinning paints down, because some people simply just don't like doing that. The Herculean paint tube, dude, that's my guy. Tiny. Yes, Odd Tiny gets it. It's so fun. Because I also have the little wall guy, and then bah. Okay, enough goofing off. That's all we do here. I don't know why I said that. There is never enough goofing off around here. Man, did anybody see that the Syrians got caught with their pants down and the rebels are seizing territory? Oh my goodness. I thought, I almost forgot that they were still fighting in Syria. I keep, never hear about it anymore. And all of a sudden, wow, Dunskies. Blow open a whole new front. It's crazy. Oh yeah, man. That amount, that large paint cost. You're saving 30 or 40% on that versus buying it in the same paint in a smaller tube. You're saving 30%, and then versus the amount it costs for that versus a Games Workshop thing. Good old James is very proud of his product, so Citadel stuff is expensive. All their paints and toys are very, very pricey. Alright, we're just putting this raw umber here in the bottom. I did prime this yesterday. I don't know if I was on camera when I did it or not. think I may have decided to do it after I got off the air. But we definitely want to get some, just get this darkened up. You're not really going to ever see underneath here, really, because of the way she's going to stand on the model. But you still don't want to just leave this blank. We don't want to leave it gray. Some of that's because of the way it'll cast shadows and stuff like that. If it's darker on the inside, then the way it'll reflect and refract light will change. This can be plenty dark, so don't worry about whether it's thin or whatever. Just try to get your brush strokes nice and tight. Oh, man. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. That's it. Precisely it. Unless it's some sort of, yeah, there are definitely some chemicals and some paints that contain some things where you don't want to buy large amounts of, but or glues. There's certain glues that'll just dry up on you, and solvents, like you said, and it's so yeah, you definitely gotta pay attention when you're done. But yeah, acrylic paint, it's gonna be good as long as it stays sealed. It's good forever. I think I still have some around here that are like really old. Some like the ones I bought when before my kids were born. Which my son just got his license. My oldest son just got his driver's license. He passed the test on Sunday, and he's got approved for his license. It is in the mail now. They have that new kind of license. They don't just print them for you right there anymore. Crazy. So yeah, I got paints in here that are 16 years old. Well, and especially like, this particular color we have a lot of. Yeah. Hell yeah. They don't usually last all the way to 20 years. I usually use them up. If they get too old, then I'll be like, I'm going to figure out some way to use all that paint. And I don't buy the mega tubes of like all the colors because, number one, they don't make them that way. But number two, oh, thanks. I will pass that on to him. He's pretty excited about it. A huge milestone, as everybody probably remembers. If you have a license, you definitely remember that milestone of your life. But yeah, I mean, like this particular raw umber I use. God, I probably use raw umber on every single thing I paint. It's my go-to for shadows. It's my, if anything's got to have a dirtiness to it, or that, I'm probably going to use this. It's definitely was worth it. What else I got? I got some other ones too. They were all browns. They had like all these basic brown colors on sale. I was like, heck yeah. I use all of those all the time. I'm kidding them. And this is a slightly thicker version of this than we were using yesterday. I'm trying to start pulling some of this brown up. We're going to take a look at the source material again here. Just a second. it's a everybody definitely has the different experience. I was so excited to get mine. I was pumped. It was way more difficult when I was a kid, because like when I was a kid, you had to go down to the highway patrol office, and you had a highway patrol officer administer the test. So you're sitting there next to a cop. Oh, you're Peter Pantsing. Oh, that's funny. Wanted to stay a kid forever. Totally get it. That makes sense. Yeah, I was so excited to get a car and get driving. In Oklahoma, there's not like everything's all spread out. Like, and there's no. In those days, there wasn't a whole lot of public transit here. So like the only way you were going to be able to get out and really do anything in Oklahoma City when I was a kid, you had to be able to drive. Or you had to have a friend that could drive. And so it just became a thing. But now, like, public transportation is a whole lot better. I don't know, things are crazy now too. I don't know that I'd want to drive around these days. If I was a kid, I don't know if I'd want to get my license. Things are crazy. Yeah. In Europe, they don't. It's not in some parts of Europe, it's not as big a deal. Like, I got a couple friends of mine that live in Scotland that have never driven a day in their life. They don't want a car. They don't need a car. No need for it. I'm like, man, that's wild. Couldn't even imagine living my life that way. Yeah, I don't mind driving the cars. I don't like necessarily driving with some of the people that I have to drive with. Like, because it's not the actual driving in the car for me that that bothers me on occasions. It's the driving. Some people are just crazy these days. I mean, it's just like, man, we're all trying to operate these death coffins, you know, metal coffins of destruction, and let's all chill out and everybody kind of try to get to where they're going safely. But I don't know how it is over there, but I'm hearing the countryside of America, these people drive pretty rough. Like, if I could, I'd probably said I would have been a race car driver if I'd been able to, just pick a career. I became a chef because I was good at it, and my dad was a chef, and now I'm retired because of medical or whatever. But yeah, it's oh, I'm just saying, I'm trying to reset my stop limits on my stocks here. Interesting. Okay. So I try to make money on the stock market too. While I'm sitting around doing flipping nothing. And if I'd stop passing out, I'd start driving. I like driving for Uber sometimes, but I've been passing out randomly lately, so I try to stay away from driving. It just seems super dangerous, Yeah, driving in Italy, I can imagine. just because everything is so small there, like all the amount of space between everything is very short. So you got people just zipping around everywhere all the time trying to get to where they're going. No worries. We were looking at Melina, whatever her name is. Okay. It's really hard to tell what we got going on here. But it looks like the inside of that robe is a lighter color. So that's good. Yeah. Italian, I can imagine it's like, I think most European cars have a much better turning ability than American cars. Where I live out, like we're out in like the country. Once you go out from where I am, you're going into the places where like there's more cattle than people for the next 2 hours. Well, depending on which direction you go. But everybody out here drives these big ass trucks. And you definitely can't pull those things into the little driveways. They can barely pull them into the big driveways. Yes, if you don't do a little bit of filing on stuff, then it doesn't sit together right. And as you can see, it files just fine. It's coming off easy. And you can see all the points, those little dots are from where I pulled it off I guess you'd call it a sprue. They call it supports when you're in 3D printing, but it's the same thing, really. The supports are just how it lifts up out of the thing it uses to lift it out of the goo. Versus a sprue where they're shooting it in. That is a good correlation. It's a little bit like a thermoplastic. You just gotta, just be super chill with it, and don't expect it to perform miracles. There's drawbacks to all of it, honestly. You definitely wouldn't be able to mass produce resin stuff. It just doesn't. It's not, at least not yet. The technology isn't there yet. I wouldn't want to try and print an entire army. Is that debris or is that some sort of part to it? I don't think that's just either. Nope. No, had a little money sold off while we're sitting here. There you go. it does make some strange errors too. Like sometimes I feel like it kind of hallucinates on it or something. Like it's like it's trying to repeat the same thing in another place. Yeah, there's a lot of like you're usually throwing away about a third of what comes out of the printer because of the supports that's holding on to it. So there's a lot of waste and there's a lot of time that goes along with it. It's not quite. It's just there's time. You're putting a lot of time. You're investing a lot of time in it. Especially if you want to be good at it, you're gonna for anything that's more than just one or two pieces every couple of weeks, months or so. Like when I was printing out, when I very first got it, we were printing out a bunch of stuff to get pieces we need for D&D and stuff going. So we were printing stuff all the time on it. But now I only use it every once in a while. Kind of depends on clients and what I'm doing, what I need. This is a Naples yellow we're putting down now. Yeah, there's definitely a lot of... It'll get better. It'll get there. Well, like I said, it'd be nice for them to use things that are a little less toxic. It can't be It can't be good for the environment to have some of it, because like some of these folks that buy these things, they buy them thinking it's going to be a neat project, and then they don't like it, and then what happens to that bottle of toxic chemicals? They're not. I mean, some of them are going to be smart and sell it on eBay or Marketplace or something, or they'll give it to somebody maybe that wants to do it or something like that. And some people, it's just rotting away in their garage. But some folks are like probably taking this stuff and throwing it in the regular trash can, and it's making its way to a landfill somewhere, and now you got uncured toxic chemicals leaching into the landfill. Lord only knows where that goes. Yeah, it's very hard to make something like this 100% green. That's why I try to recycle as much stuff as I can, and I have boxes of weird random bits of stuff that I've kept that I'll use to make parts. I use it for parts and stuff like that, just to kind of anything you can do to kind of lower the footprint just a tiny bit. I guess it feels better. I don't know if I'm making that big of a difference, but it definitely feels better. I feel you on the trying to stay as green as you can. There's not a whole lot of opportunity for that in where I live, unfortunately. We don't people out here today, they're very kind of like anti anything they consider to be like hippie woke nonsense. And so for a long time, we didn't even have recycling out here. We finally have some recycling and stuff going on. It's made it all the way out here finally. So at least we can do some recycling at the curb where you can take out with your typical trash can, you can take your recycling bin out. Definitely gotten better over time. So when I was a kid, they didn't even really recycle anything. People just kind of like just threw it everywhere. I remember when they very first started talking about recycling. Maybe not the very first, but I remember when I was young and when it was first really taking hold. And people really started actually paying attention to it. That's probably a more accurate way of saying that. Because, for a while, nobody paid any attention. And then they started paying attention. People started getting into it. And kind of kept moving from there. Which is honestly good. I mean, we have a finite amount of stuff here. Like, the world is finite. It is. It's not infinite. The universe is infinite, but we can't figure out how to get out there. We're stuck here right now. Oh, cool. Plastics go in one, and organics, food scraps kind of in one another, and then non-recyclables. So you have it's like a recyclable, non-recyclable, and then compostable food scrap, or how does that work? Just out of curiosity. Yeah, we're already throwing trash into space. That is real. That is happening. Yeah, I don't know why more doesn't do recycling. It's not like the city can't. The city's big enough to contract that out. I don't know. Oklahoma's weird. Yeah, they are definitely sending junk into space and leaving it. One of those Homer Simpson things ever, really. Yes. Maybe. You talking about being the fat people on the ship, or are you talking about what part of the Wallier experience are you talking about? Those fat people on that ship, holy moly. First time I watched that movie, I saw that scene and I was like, there's going to be people going, yeah, that looks like the life. They totally aren't going to understand why this is bad at all. see a lot of the blemishes in the bottom of the skirt. And again, I don't know if that's from some of this stuff. Those pieces are definitely from it settling in wrong from either the wash or the printing. Some of this looks like it's a file problem. You have 4 bins, 1 for glass, 1 for plastics, and packaging materials. Huh. And then you have an organic, paper and cardboard, and lastly the non-recyclable. Huh. That's a lot. That's a lot. That's kind of good though. I mean, it definitely helps you have from having to worry about maintaining those dang machines, because all that has to go to different temperatures and different. You break it all down differently. That's pretty cool. Man, it'd be nice to have some systems like that around here. But trying to get Americans to follow that kind of a system, golly. We're also spoiled over here. Just rotten brats. Well, I don't want to be inconvenienced, so I ain't gonna help take care of no environment. Oh yeah, a lot of people would. A lot of people would, but you know, America, you know how it is out here in America, especially in this part of America. Why I gotta do all that work? Can't somebody else do it? If they want to recycle something, man, why don't they do it? You just hear them talking. I can hear them in my head. Ugh. Huh. Huh. Have to pay a fee if you produce more non-recyclable waste than you're allowed it. Well, there you go. You're right next to me. Yeah. We've got some folks that definitely, in the States, that are definitely, that's just too much work. They're not going to do it. Ugh. Yeah. It definitely helps, because you definitely would have to have the packaging companies in line. Like, everybody's got to get in line and do it. That's real. That makes sense. You'd have to, you know, if industry. That's another thing, man. Americans love their dang packaging. We have packaging stuff that's packaged inside of another package. You're like, holy crap. How many layers of packaging do I really need to get to this thing? Well, and like, yeah, wild and weird and not bright people are born everywhere in every nationality and every color, creed, and language. So I'm sure hilarity ensues. Are there fines for continually putting stuff in the wrong bins? I think you said something about that earlier. It was just maybe the recyclable. I don't remember. This is an awesome conversation, though. That's I find that so amazing. The little parts of life they're similar but different. You know, like everybody's pretty much got a place they got to take their garbage out to, but like how that works and what that looks like in each individual country is so fun. And the attitude surrounding it, from the main populace to the other folk, is I love it. Golly. Oh, they should treat people like that around here more often. I swear. No. It's fine. You can just let it keep building up. You're just going to keep paying fines and your rubbish is going nowhere. That's amazing. It's so good. Oh, the plastic rings. I think they actually have a thing that breaks. I think those are made out of breakdown materials now. Like they break down. You might have to look that up. But yeah, I try to buy. That's one of the things I like. I like LaCroix when it comes down to these like soda waters. I like LaCroix, but LaCroix does that. They have those plastic rings, and so like I almost like these Waterloos better because there's no plastic ring. It comes in one box, one cardboard box with one piece of plastic on top of it. That's it. Not any better, any more cardboard or more plastic or more anything, you know. And so I kind of feel better about that. You're buying like, I think we buy like 32 of them at a time. It's a flat. It's pretty big. Something like that, 32 or something. But yeah, no, I grew. My mom was a recycler. I remember as soon as recycling got started, my mom was super excited. And we used to take all our aluminum down to the wrist, because when I was a kid, you didn't have bins. If you wanted to recycle, you had to like gather up all your stuff, and you went and you took it down to a place that did recycling, and you get like, I don't know, like $1 or something like that for a bag full of cans. And that's what we did. That's what we did. I remember my mom was big into it. She when recycling first started, she was like, yeah, we're gonna do all that. I remember that we used to load up the car and take bags full of cans, crushed cans, go make a couple bucks, and then go get ice cream. Yeah, definitely. definitely requires a perceived change from the society itself. That is 100% correct. If the people, if not everybody's willing to jump in, then it becomes a thing. But you know, like it's better. It's better. And I don't know how old Odd Tiny is, but like I said, I remember in the '80s, man, when it was bad. Like we were tearing up this planet, man. '70s for like we've been getting mad. In the '80s, we kind of started finally, paying attention, and it's a whole lot better now. It's a whole heck of a lot better now, than it was. So we got that. We got that going for us. That's good. So they got that. Yeah. Anyway, we'll just pull down here. That hour went by fast. I love it when we have folks in here chatting. Makes it nice. So definitely big shout out to Sir McBeardsly and Odd Tiny. Good stuff. Go check out our Odd Tiny's channel. Cool stuff, man. He makes some neat stuff over there. Kind of do the same thing we do here. So go check out go give him some likes and some views, and check that guy out. He's cool dude. Yeah, they make some good stuff over there. Yeah. A little different than my style, that's the coolest. I think that's honestly like the coolest part about hobbies like this is like the styles are all so different. So like my style and what I choose to paint is so different than I have a little paint club I go to on every other Thursday, and those guys' styles, they're all painting Warhammer, and their styles are very different than mine. So it's fun just to see what other people do, and sometimes you get inspiration. Sometimes you look at something, even if it's not like your normal kind of thing that you make, you'll find inspiration from other people. I get a lot of my inspiration for Elden Ring. Hey, friends, well made it. I get a lot of my inspiration from Impressionism, especially for the Elden Ring stuff. The Elden Ring has this very old, like this dark Impressionism, like Gothic Impressionism, because it's not like super clear what you're looking at all the time, and so like you have that little bit of like at a glance look that you can throw on there. In the way I like to layer colors, I like those colors to like you don't really pick it up consciously when you look over it. You'll kind of subconsciously see the different colors and the way it fades. I enjoy that. So I get a lot of inspiration from a lot of different places. So, yeah, definitely. So it was it's gonna be cool. So tomorrow, hopefully, I'll have the other leg and her cloak tomorrow. So we'll have all that. We're starting to get there. maybe. I probably should go to the bookstore and look through it. I don't really have a lot of place for more books. I have so many game books. Like, holy crap. I gotta get rid of some of them maybe, but I probably won't. Maybe I will. Who knows? Anyway, you guys are amazing. Really appreciate everybody that comes by, hangs out, says hello, gives us likes, gives us thumbs ups, all the things that everybody does. Super amazing. Yeah. We're gonna see you tomorrow. Check out the Discord. Check out the other. Everybody, be good to each other. Be good to each other. Nice. Play nice. Do some good in the world. And yeah, we'll talk to you later. Bye.